If you have followed this ministry and have ever wondered, and you may have, and you may have not, why I continue to write and to teach and to persevere despite my circumstances, I'd like to share the story with you. For nearly 50 years now, I have carried something in my heart that I have really spoken about publicly. When I first came to Christ in 1977, and I committed my life completely to Him in 1978, I was a young believer with no ambition other than to follow Jesus faithfully. Now, during those early years, something happened. And it happened repeatedly that profoundly shaped the direction of my life. Over roughly the first decade of my Christian walk, more than a dozen different ministers, men and women who were recognized by many as having prophetic ministries. Now, they spoke over my life. These occasions were not all connected, and they came through different people in different places, many of whom did not even know one another. Yet the message was remarkably similar. Again and again, I was told that God would send me to preach the gospel to many people, even to other nations and cultures. I was told that I would teach the truth concerning the church of the Lord, and that I would write extensively to bring clarity to God's people. An anthology is the term that was used. And as a young believer, I did not seek these words, nor did I know what to do with them. But after hearing the same thing repeated through so many different people, I believe that perhaps this was indeed the direction God has prepared for my life. Because of that conviction, I remained faithful to my local church for more than 30 years. I submitted myself to its leadership and devoted myself to serving wherever I could. Now, looking back, that commitment also meant sacrificing opportunities that might have provided greater financial security for my family. I believed that if God had spoken, then my responsibility was simply to remain faithful and wait for Him to open the doors in His time. Life, however, unfolded in ways I never expected. Our precious daughter was born with spina bifida. Her condition has required constant care throughout her life and continues to this day. My beloved wife faithfully walked beside me through every season until, after 33 years of marriage, she was taken home to be with the Lord after her battle with cancer. Today, I'm approaching 71 years of age. Much of my life is now devoted to caring for my daughter. My responsibilities keep me almost entirely homebound. I cannot travel freely. I cannot simply go wherever ministry opportunities might arise. My circumstances are very different from what I imagined as a young man. Yet one thing has never changed: the desire to teach God's word. It has never left me. The burden to strengthen the church has never diminished in me. And the books that have lived in my heart for decades are now largely written. The messages I have longed to share are all ready to be spoken. Now, through modern technology, it is now possible to reach people around the world without leaving my home. Ironically, the very limitations that once seemed to close every door may now be overcome through these tools. But producing quality teaching and expanding this ministry, publishing books, and reaching people all require resources that I simply do not possess. That is why I am making this appeal. I am not asking because I believe anyone owes me anything, nor am I attempting to manipulate anyone by appealing to past prophetic words. Those words are something I have carried before the Lord for many years, and ultimately, God knows whether they truly came from Him or not. Perhaps those men and women spoke accurately, and perhaps they did not. I cannot answer that with any certainty today, but I do know this. I have sought to be faithful. I have waited. I have endured. And I have continued to study the scriptures and to teach whenever I've had opportunity and to prepare the work that I believe God has placed in my heart. Now I've reached a point where I can go no further by myself. If the Lord truly intends for this ministry to reach beyond what I alone can accomplish, perhaps He will move the hearts of His people to help make it possible. Perhaps this has always been His design, that His work would advance not through one individual alone, but through the body of Christ working together. If that is His will, then every gift, every prayer, every act of encouragement becomes part of something much larger than any one of us, than any one person. If, on the other hand, no doors open, then I will accept that with peace. I do not wish to spend the remainder of my life trying to force something that God Himself has not ordained. The Lord is faithful, and I trust Him completely. If He has spoken, He will accomplish His purpose. If He hasn't, then I want the humility, and then I want the humility to accept that as well. Either way, I will continue to love Him, to serve Him, and care for those He has entrusted to me. If you have been blessed by this ministry, if the teachings has strengthened your faith, and if you believe the books and the messages should reach more people than I can reach alone, then I humbly ask you to pray about partnering with me. Your support would not simply help one man, it would help place biblical teaching into the hands of people I may never meet on this side of eternity. And for that, I would be deeply grateful. In the description, there are two ways you could support the work, which are completely tax deductible, either through Zelle or PayPal. Thank you again for your kindness, your encouragement, and your prayers.